Hi, my name's David. I'm here to show you how to set up a franchise in Deskera. Let's click Books. Inside here it says choose how you want to start your journey. Explore with a demo company, set up your company. Let's click Set up your company. Inside here we can change the organization name, we can change the country, we can change which currency we want to use, we can update the financial year start date, and we can also update the book beginning date. So what is book beginning date? This is the date that you actually start putting transactions in the system. Anything before this is considered your openings. So you have to update all your opening chart of accounts, you'll have to input your opening inventory, and you'll have to create your opening invoices and bills in the system. And then after that, when using the system, you can start closing the opening invoices and using the opening stock. Now it says here, do you collect taxes? This is based upon your tax compliance. So for example, we selected United States of America. That's why this populates. If you select other countries, other information will populate. If it doesn't, you can always look in your organization profile. Inside there, there's also a tab for tax compliance. So I'm going to click yes and click next. So what does your business deal with? It says here, this is just to get you started. You can always change it later on in settings. So, does your company provide services, digital products, inventory? So based upon your different franchises, you need to choose what you want to select. So does your franchise provide services, digital products? Does it provide inventory? Is there a pick, pack, ship service? Is there a multiple warehouse for this? And you select the ones you want and you can click all set. Hold on tight, we're setting up your first organization. Inside here you can create your first invoice, create your first expense, import your data. So you can import your chart of accounts, products, contacts, and opening balance. And you connect to a bank. But first, let's click on Settings, Organization Profile, and let's click on the pencil icon. Inside here, we can add an image, and just select it and open. And then the image will appear. I can see the name, the tax registry, the date format, and this is where I can change the date format. Under Finances, I can see the financial start date, the book beginning date, the reporting currency. I can see the number of decimal places, 2, 3, and 4. Please take note, I can increase the number of decimal places, but after I do that, I cannot decrease the number of decimal places. For example, if I increase the number of decimal places to 4, I will not be able to go back to 3 decimal places or 2 decimal places. This is where you can choose the number format. This is where I can activate multi-currency. For example, Canadian dollar, Australian dollar. And we can also search for the currency here. For example, euro. And then I can save it. Next, let's go to compliance. Inside here, it'll be based upon your tax registry. So, for example, I selected the United States, so I see the United States tax registry here. If I select a different country, I should see that information here accordingly. So, since I selected US, I'm just putting in the tax registry. Now I'm inputting the states, for example, Texas and California. Next, let's go to address. Inside here, I can input the address, for example, 1900 E Street, Fresno. And you can see it populates. Now, if I want to add another address, I can add it here. For example, 755 E Ness ABE Fresno. And you can see it populates here, and I just click on it. And then I can select, is this my current billing address or my current shipping address? So if I have multiple addresses, I can do this and continue to add them in here. Then I can click Update. So now you can see everything has been updated. Next, let's click on Settings, and let's click on Currency. Inside here, I can see the currency, the code, the symbol, the exchange rate date, the visibility, and the actions. For example, do I want to change the rate or view the rate? Now, if I want to activate a currency, like, for example, the Thai baht, I can just click on the eye icon. Now, if I want to activate multiple currencies, I can click on the box here for Swiss francs, and for example, CFP francs. And I can click activate. Now if I want to deactivate a currency, I can just click on the eye icon again. If I want to deactivate multiple, like CFP franc and the Swiss francs, I can then click deactivate up here. Now if I want to change or view the visible currency, I just click change rate here. And I can see the exchange rate, effective date, and timestamp, and I can click on that and change it accordingly and save it. Now if I want to view the rate for the non-visible currencies, I can click view rate here, and I can see the exchange rate, effective date, and timestamp. Next, let's click on settings, and let's click on payment terms. Inside here, I can see the name, the term, and the quick action. The quick action is to set as default. I can also add a payment term up here. So for example, maybe net 60. I can put the term dates here, so 60 days, and I can click this to use as default, and I can save it. Next, I can click on settings, and I can click on unit of measurement. Inside here, I can see the name, the description, and the quick action, and I can add UOM. So for example, let's see, MT or metric tons, MT here, and I can save it. Next, let's click on settings, and let's click on custom fields, and let's click create. So inside here, we can create different types of custom fields, such as a text box, multi-select dropdown, numbers, and we can put in the field name. So you can think of it like outlets. You can put in the multi-select dropdown, and then you can put in the different locations. For example, Los Angeles, maybe San Pedro, and then maybe San Diego, for example. And then I go next, and then I can say I want to put this on my invoice and bills, quotation, my purchase orders, maybe any debit or credit notes as well, any expense and deposits, and I can create. I also can create a text box. So for example, maybe I want any remarks or additional remarks, and I can put the length here. And I also want that available on my invoice, bill, quotation, or purchase order. And maybe I also want to create a number, but this time let's call it phone number. And decimal precision, 10. And maybe I want to add this to my contacts because I want the phone number there as well. And let's click create. Next, let's go to settings. Inside here, we also have our document templates, our audit log, bulk import, email, and sequence number. Under email, so if you want your invoices sent by your own email, this is where you put your sender name, sender email, username, password. You put in the server host name and port number, and then you can text connection and then connect. Also, we have our sequence number settings, so this is where you can do your common sequence format and separate sequence format. So go here, and then I can add new and drop it down. For example, my invoices, I want it to be SI. I want my quotation to be QI. So with common sequence format, they're all the same. Separate sequence format, they're all different. And I can confirm it. Confirm. Next, let's go to dashboard. Let's go to import your data. Let's click on contacts, import data, and let's download the sample file. Now we're in the contact template. Inside here is where we're going to input all your different contacts. So what is a contact? Your contact is your customer and vendor. So if you have your own templates already for your contact and vendor, you can just import them using our import option and then manually select which columns that should be mapped to. If not, you can use our contact template. So how does the system determine if a contact is a customer or vendor? Well, it depends on the transactions used. For example, if a contact uses a sell transaction, such as quotation or invoice, then it's considered a customer. If a customer uses a buy transaction, such as purchase order or bill, then it'll be considered a vendor. Now, if a contact uses both a sell and buy transaction, then it'll be considered both a customer and vendor. Inside here, we have your sequence code. This is your unique identifier for your contact name, currency, email address, receivable count, payable count, payment terms. So this is your default payment terms. Your billing address, country, state, city, postal code. Your shipping address, country, state, city, postal code, and your tax compliance. So based on what country you select, the tax compliance will appear here. Since I selected US, you can see tax number is tax exemption and tax exemption reason. Now if I select a different country, these fields will change. It all changes based upon the country's tax compliance. Next, let's save and let's close. Inside here, we're just going to drag and drop the file into here. If you want to, you can also click Browse, select the file, and click Open, and it'll also appear here. So if you have your own template as well, just drag and drop it into here as well. Click Next. And if you have your own template and certain fields are not matching, you can click here and then look at which field you wish to assign. You can choose Do Not Import this column, or you can create a custom field for it by clicking here. You can also skip columns that do not map by clicking here if the data is not important. Let's click Next. Inside here we can see the import properties and the import options. Add new record, update existing record, add new and update existing record. In case of duplicates, reject the duplicate, import the duplicate rows. In case of invalid values, reject the entire row, reject the invalid value but import the row, add the value in the dropdown. So you can select these options. Now down here we can take a look and see if all the information is correct. If something does not look correct, for example, maybe payment terms, I can click here and change it directly on the screen. Now if this applies to the entire column, I can click here, apply to the entire column, and I can click Submit. The file has been uploaded. So let's go to Contacts. Inside here I can see my imported contacts. Let's go back to Dashboard now. Click Import Your Data. Click Products, click Import Data, select Tracked and Non-Tracked Products, and let's click Next. And let's download the sample file, and let's open it. Now we're at the product template. Inside here is where you're going to input your tracked or non-tracked products. So what is a non-tracked product? A non-tracked product is like a service product, like an electrician, aircon repair, gardener, even a certified public accountant doing auditing. So it all depends on what type of business you're doing. So that's like a non-track. A tracked product could be like fries, burgers, soda. It could be your computers. It could be watches. Any physical product where you want to keep track of the items inside the system. So based upon the type of franchise you have, you may have tracked and non-tracked products. Inside here we have our sequence code. So that's the unique identifier for each product. You can manually input it or use our running number. We have the product name. Product type, is it tracked or non-tracked? Product description, barcode, purchase account, purchase price, sales account, sales price. Is it taxable? So this is your country tax compliance. So since I selected the US, it shows is taxable. If you select other countries, it will appear differently as well. Your unit of measurement, your opening quantity and opening valuation. So what is opening quantity, opening valuation? This means that how much opening at quantity I have before my book beginning date. So we talked earlier about book beginning date when we were creating the company. Everything before book beginning date is our opening. So this is our opening quantity. So for example, if I have 10, and let's say this says, 154, what this means is that my 10 units cost $154. We have our cost of goods sold account, stock adjustment account, our inventory account, our warehouse, our purchase return account, and sales return account. And if we have any custom fields for this product, we can just add it in after sales return account in the T column and go forward, adding in all our custom fields. After everything looks good, we can save and close, and then we can import it. Also, if you have your own product template, you can just use that one, maybe make a few adjustments, save it, and just drag and drop it directly into our import and upload it. Now we're just going to go and drag and drop the file into here. And if you want to, you can click Browse, select the file, and click Open. Next, we're going to click Next. Inside here, we're going to see all our different fields. Now, if you pulled in your own data or you're using your own template, you can go and see if it's matching or not. If it's not matching, you just click here and then you can assign it to the field that you want to assign it to. You can also select do not import this column, meaning the column is not required to be imported, or if you need to, you can create a custom field by clicking create custom field here. You also skip columns that do not map, and let's click next. Inside here, again, we have the same import properties like we did in Contact. So you have your import options in case of duplicate records, in case of invalid values. Now I can check and make sure everything looks correct. And if I need to change anything, I can change it directly on the screen. For example, change it to 38, and then I can just submit it. Now it's been imported. So now if I go to my product screen, I can see my products. Now let's go back to the dashboard. Let's click import your data, products, and import, and let's click on bill of materials. So what is a bill of material? A bill of material is a bunch of components that are assembled together to form a product. For example, you can look at it like a desktop, where you have your motherboard, your RAM, your fan, your case, your hard drive, and they all assemble together to form your desktop. Now another product could be like chicken soup. You have your noodles, your broth, your chicken, and your different vegetables, and all these items are used to combine to make your chicken soup. There may be also additional costs like cooking and other items as well. Or you can think of it also like packages, where you have multiple items and you're putting them all together for a certain package that you're going to go and sell them off to. So these are the different types of BOMs that are there. I'm not going to go and show you how to import, but we have plenty of videos on for you to see as well. So next, let's go to accounting. Inside here, we have your chart of accounts, journal entries, your opening balance, your debit note, credit note, expenses, deposits, and your financial year closing. If I click on that, this is where I can select my financial closing settings. Is it monthly, quarterly, yearly, or do I have a custom, closing period? Now, I'm just going to select monthly. I'm going to select my retained earnings account. And I'm going to save. Now, if I want to close the period, I click close period. I put in the period name, closing period, and period. So, the year and the month. Again, this changes based upon what you selected. And of course, I have no data, so I'm not going to close it. Let's go back to accounting as well. And let's go to opening balances. In here is where we're going to input your opening for your chart of accounts. This is where you're going to update your opening inventory. And under contacts, this is where you're going to create your opening, sales invoices, and billings. Take note, we have the import option for all three. So if you want to import your openings for your accounts, inventory, and contacts, it's just up here. Just select the tab and click import. Next, let's go to sell. Inside here, we can create a quote, an invoice. I can click the plus sign to close this. Inside here, I can click the import button, and this will allow me to import my invoices. I can download the sample file here and import them. But let's go and just create an invoice. I'm going to click create new invoice. I'm going to input the contact. And if I want to create a new contact, I can just click create new contact here. And I can create it directly from the screen. But since we imported, let's select, for example, Mike Davis, any remarks, hi, which outlet this is for, maybe Los Angeles, add line items. For example, maybe I want to add in the fries, burger. But again, it all depends on your product and how you want to record it. For example, and then I can update the price here as well. So for example, $2, $5. Any discount, I can put the discount here. 10, of course, is too much, like $1. And then if I want it to be a percentage, I put 10 and the percentage sign, it becomes a percentage discount. I can attach a file, put in a memo. I can go up here and see my custom fields, so I can hide the ones I don't want. I can set as recurring, meaning monthly, first document date, end document date. So for example, monthly, weekly, put in the document dates, ending date, never ends, and I can save it. I also can change the auto send, so you can see the information here. And I can add in placeholders. For example, hi, Thank you for reaching out to us. Update, and then save it. So I'm just going to close this now. If I click on more, I can set up multi-currency options. I can set up the currency, Australian, Canadian, European, or United States dollar. And if I change the currency, I can then change the exchange rate here based upon my requirements. So for example, and then I can update. But I'm just going to cancel this for now. Now inside here, I can also select my payment setup. So Veeam, Stripe, PayPal are not applicable. I can manage, so if I want to change my labels, I can. I can change the label for item, description, quantity, price, and discount. If I want to change the invoice number, I can select manual, use our default running, or I can customize it. So for example, I can put in the prefix. Separator, display digits, separator, and the suffix. And I can save it. I can click on this again, and if I click on the three dots, I can edit and I can delete it. If everything looks good, I can save and close. Now, since I don't have any stock, I can save it as a back order. So I can say save and create back order. It'll take me to the invoice screen. So then I can select my contact, maybe my vendor as franchise. I can update the price here. Maybe $1, maybe here $2. And then again, you can update accordingly, increase the quantity, do an attachment memo. Again, you can select which custom fields you wish to hide or not. So for example, maybe I just want to do a Los Angeles here, but I don't want remarks. So my remarks is gone. It says recurring, change the currency, select the number range here. Again, I can manage and change the labels based upon, so I can change item, description, quantity, price, and discount label. And if everything looks good, I can save and close. After that, I can click here and I can receive the goods. I'm receiving it to my primary warehouse. I can go to sell, get paid. Actually, no, let's receive first. I can fulfill, and my choices is direct fulfillment, pick, pack, ship, or drop ship. So based upon your type of franchise, you can do a direct fulfillment, you can do a pick, pack, ship, where you can use our picking, packing, and shipping process, or you can use drop ship. Drop ship means that customer places an order with me, I place an order with the vendor. The vendor will then ship the goods directly to the customer. It never enters my warehouse at all. So for this case, I'm just going to do direct fulfillment, fulfill the goods. And now I'm going to click get paid. Now I can change the currency. If I want to, I can change the quantity here. For example, if I want to change it to $5, I can change it. But I'm just going to leave it at 7. Bank deposit, transfer, reference date, reference number. Go click next, and I'm going to receive it. So it's now received. We also have API connections. So if you want to use our API connectors, you can use that to connect and create your invoices. Just quickly, I want to go to warehouses. So if you have multiple warehouses and you want to keep your stock as different outlets inside the warehouses themselves, you can also do that. So for example, Los Angeles, put in the address and everything and save. So I can create multiple warehouses here, and they can also be your outlets. And if you also want to connect to different types of systems, we can then look at apps as well. So let's click on apps. Inside here, we have our different payment gateways like Veeam, PayPal, Stripe, and Wise. If I want to receive payment from a customer, I can do that through Veeam, PayPal, and Stripe. Please take note, Veeam requires your base currency to be USD. You can also make payment to your vendor using Veeam and Wise. We have our fixed assets here as well. We can track our shipments using USPS, FedEx. We have our stock transfer, stock adjustment. We connect to multiple different types of applications using Integrately, Pabbly, Zapier, and Integromat. We can also connect to different e-commerce sites using Ecom. Like we can connect to Amazon, Shopify, and WooCommerce. So all you do is click open, then you connect to Deskera, then you connect to the Amazon account or the Shopify account or WooCommerce account, and then you can see your orders, customers, and products for all three. All right. Next, let's click on Books and let's go to Banks. Inside here, this is where you can create a bank. So let's click Add Bank Account. We can put in the name. We can update or change the code. We can select the currency. We can put a description in here, and we can click Save and Next. Now, let's get started. This is where we can select our bank. So if we wish to connect our bank, we can connect through Plaid. So let's click on Wells Fargo. I can put in my username and password. Please take note the provider may change based upon which region you're in. So you may not see Plaid, you may see Yodlee, or you may see Salt Edge. Now, if you don't see your bank here, you can go type it in and search for it. Let's see. Type in bank. And then you can look and see which type of bank it is. So, for example, Eastern Bank, Bank of America, you can select which ones you require. Now, if you don't want to select a bank, you can click the X sign and click Skip. Now your Wells Fargo bank has been created. Now, if you wish to import your statement, you can click Import Statement here, and then you can just drag and drop your statement file into here and try to match it, or you can download our sample file and fill in the data. It's up to you. We also have rules here. So what are the rules? These are rules in order to automatically create transactions based upon your bank statement. So if you don't want to manually create in the system, you want the rule to automatically create it for you, this is where you can set up the rules. We'll have two types of rules here. So just to show you quickly, review and create or auto create. So if you set this rule up and click auto create, it'll automatically be generated. If you click review and create, you have to review it first and then it'll be created. Next, let's go to reports. Inside here, you can see all your financial reports, such as your profit and loss balance sheet, your cash flow statement, bank reconciliation, statement of accounts. You can see here your sales tax report, your purchases report. You can see your bill list, payment list, your age payable, your inventory report. So if you're handling inventory, this is where you can see your stock availability by warehouse, stock ledger, stock aging report. Under sales, this is where you can see your outstanding sales, age receivables, sales by contact, sales by product, receipt list, credit note. And that was a quick look at Deskera Books. Next, let's click on the Switch To icon and let's go to Sales. Now we're at the dashboard screen. Inside here, you can see your organizations, people, deals lost, deals won, your contact report, upcoming activities, deal stage, deal won versus deals lost, campaign, and tickets. Now let's go to settings. Inside here, we can select our user settings, our team settings. So this determines the view. So for example, if I want to be able to only have my team see certain contacts and deals, this is where I set it up. Currently, you have 3 different types of views for contacts and deals, and that is your private view, team view, and everyone view. So this is where you set up your teams. Now we're inside the custom fields. Inside here, you can create a custom field, and you put in the field name, and it could be a text box, single selection drop-down menu, numbers, country, currency, and date, and you can add it to your contacts or deals, or deals. Next, we have our email. So this is where you can connect your email. You put your sender name, email address, username, password. Then you can connect your incoming mail, your IMAP server, your port, your outgoing mail, your SMTP server, your port, and do you allow non-secure certificates. Once you input all that information in, you can save, and then you can start emailing from contacts and deals. We also have integration settings where you can integrate from Microsoft 365, Google Tag Manager, and webhooks. We have guides, so this is where you can input your support domain. So for example, Jice's demo, we can search here. You can see it's not been already taken, so we can assign it. And then we can put in our hero banner, our logo, our favicon. We can go to settings. We can activate our help center here. We can also remove the Powered by Deskera logo. And if I want to just save and open, I click Save and Open. And inside here is where you're going to add in your different sections and your different articles. I'll show you where to do that later on. Now we have our tickets. Inside here is where you can add your support email. So again, you put in the sender name, email address, username, and password, your server and port, for your incoming mails, your IMAP, and you select the server and port for your outgoing mails, SMTP, so you just type it on in, and do you allow non-secure certificates. We have our audit trail, our preferences. So this is where you can disable campaigns. So powered by Deskera logo, you can disable it. Web to form, this is where you can disable powered by Deskera logo. So it's up to you how you want to do it. This is your import log, so where you can see all your import information and see if there's everything imported correctly or not. Next, let's go to contacts. So you can see my contacts have already populated from books. So it syncs both ways. It syncs from books to CRM and CRM to books. So if I create one in CRM, it'll flow into books. If I create one from books, it'll flow into CRM. And you can see the visibility here. I can edit it and input more information, select any people for this organization. I'm able to change the columns, so I can go and deactivate which columns I want. I can move the columns up. So for example, maybe I want label up front, and then I can save, and you can see it's now been updated. I can also select multiple, change label, and for example, I can add a new label. I can update them all to warm, or I can select which ones I want to. For example, this one, and I can change the label, for example, to hot. So I can change it right on the screen very easily. Next, let's go to marketing. Inside here is our segments. So this is where I can add a segment. So for example, maybe I'll call it contacts. Put a description, and I can select which ones I want. But if you have multiple segments, then you probably want to click on filter, and then you can filter by owner, sub-owner, visibility, label, and also you can filter by custom fields. So if you want to create multiple custom fields and then filter by them, and then you can filter here and select which ones you want for your segments, and then I can save. Next, let's go to emails. Inside here, I can see all the different email templates. I can add an email template. I can put in the template name. So for example, test. And over here is where I can just drag and drop items like text, image, image group, image text, box text, one section, half section, 1/3 section, 3/7, button, divider, link block, link, and list items. So for example, if I want to do a half section, I just drag and drop it up here. Quite simple. And then I just go and drag, for example, an image and a text. I can double click on the image, then I can go to my pictures, and all I have to do then is just drag and drop it into there. So for example, let me just select this one and just drag and drop. And I double click on it, and you see the image has been added. Then I can also change and add the text in here. And we have placeholders, so I can put in first name, last name, full name, email, phone number, address, organization, and contact type. I can also go here and input other items. For example, maybe a text. Hi. Then I can go here, placeholder, first name. How are you, for example? I can also do full screen. I can view the code. So inside here I can see the code and I can export it. So I just copy and paste it. I can toggle the images on and off. I can import the template. So if you have your own HTML, you can just paste it right here and it'll show up. We have the properties. I can see all the information. And the key thing is your contact details. You have to add contact details because of the CAM Spam Act. Then you can save it and it'll appear here. Once everything looks good, you can save it here. And also just to show you, this is what it looks like in desktop. I can see what it looks like in tablet, and I can see what it looks like on the mobile phone. So I can change it to how I like, so that way I know what it looks like with each application. Next we have forms. Inside here we can create our multiple forms. So when I click add form, I can add a contact or a deal. And inside here I just drag and drop. So for example, if I want organization, want email, I want phone number. If I click on it, I can make it mandatory, and I can add custom fields here as well. Then I can go next, and then I can decide, okay, do I want to display a thank you message, or do I want to redirect to another page? For example, maybe back to your home page. I can also send submission email notifications, assign owner, assign sub-owner, assign visibility, and assign labels. And then I can publish. After I publish it, I can go and copy the embedded code. So this is the code. I can copy it, and then I can put it on my web page so they can fill in the information. If I want to view the form, I can view the form here. All right, so let's go to campaigns. Inside here, I can create a campaign. For example, June campaign, June sales event, for example. And I can select a category, uncategories, or add a category. And save it. I can go next. I can select my segments here, or I can create a segment. Click next. I can select my email template. I can use my templates, or I can use a pre-designed template. Save and continue. After that, I can click next. I can put in the sender name and sender email address. So this is for Deskera email services, but if I want to use my own email, I can click here and add email, and then I can put the sender name, email address, username, password. I can put the outgoing mail SMT, the server, the port, and allow non-secure certificates, and save. I can add up to 5 accounts. But if I want to use the Deskera email address, I have to put in the name and the email address. And you'll see a verification email. You click this, it'll send a verification email to your email account. So for example, let me just verify it. It'll come to my account. And then inside my account, I will click accept. Verify your email address. After that, it should be verified. And then I can refresh. And still pending, so just while it verifies. Now it's been verified. If I want to use a different reply to address, I can click here and use that. I can send now or schedule for later. So for example, maybe I want to schedule at 7 o'clock and set, and then I can schedule. I can go to the campaign, I can see it's scheduled, and after it's sent out, I'll be able to see the report. Next, let's go to services, and let's go to guide. Inside here, I can add my different sections by clicking add section, and if I want to add an article, I click add article. Now let's go to support. Inside here, I can see all my recently solved tickets. I can create a ticket, and I can also manage my ticket views by clicking here, add ticket view, and I can choose based upon status, type, update, date, assignee, and priority. I can select the criteria is not, less than, greater than, and I can select the value. Next, let's go to deals. Inside here, I can create a deal, put in the deal name, email address, organization, and closing date and dates. So let's, for example, 10 computers, for example, and then we select the organization, and I can save it. I can also click on here and put in the person's name, for example, and save. So you can see I just created a contact person. I didn't actually need to go to contacts to do it. I can create directly on the deal. So you can see Jim Williams here. I can connect my email and then send emails from here. I can also log an email. Under activities, I can create an activity. I can create a call, meeting, task, deadline, email, or lunch. So for example, let's create a call. Input any notes. I can assign it to someone, put in the contact person. For example, Jim Williams. I can select the organization, or I can leave it blank, and I can mark it as done. I can send a reminder to assignees or to the email in the contacts, and I can save. Now inside here, if I want to edit, I just click the edit button. I can click the delete to delete it, and I can click this to complete it. I can also add notes, add any logs. I can go back to deals. Oh, just to update you, if I click on default pipeline, I can add a pipeline here, and I can create new stage and multiple stages here. I can put in the name, help text, probability, and rotting days, how many days before this deal rots. And then I can just drag and drop it. And if I want to, I can just drag to close one, close loss, or I can drill in. If I want to edit it, I click up here and I can edit the deal because I want to put in a value. So for example, maybe $10,000, save. And then I can click deal one. Now for activities, I can click on activities. I can generate a calendar URL, and then you can attach the URL to your calendar. After that, the activities in here will sync to the calendar. I can also view and change the view here, so that way I can see, for example, all calls, meetings, tasks, deadlines, email, lunch. So I can filter out by here, for example. I can see all to do and done. I can click here to sync my activities. And that was a quick look at CRM. Next, let's click on the switch to, and let's click on Deskera People. Inside here, I can select the country, for example, United States of America. And please take note, which country you select will actually affect all the tax compliance. So if you select the United States, it'll be different than Singapore or Canada or any other country. So just take note to select the correct country here. If we're statutory compliant, it should populate correctly. Next, we can put in the address, for example, 1500 E. Let's see. Street, Fresno, California. Select that. You can see it auto-populates. Now let's click next. I can put in the schedule name, monthly, and I can select the pay period. Is it monthly, weekly, twice per month, or bi-weekly? And I can put in the work week here. So I can select the work week, the pay date, and the first pay date. And after everything's correct, I can click next. Please take note, you can create multiple versions of the pay schedule. You're just not stuck with one, you can create many. So depending on your company. And then you can add your employee name here. For example, David Williams. Let's see. Oops. Put in the contact number, the basic salary, and is this per year, per month, or per hour? And I can add other employees, but I recommend you use our import function. If you have your employees already created, you can just drag and drop there and match the columns. If not, we have an import template inside there that you can select, that you can use to fill in all the data. Let's click finish. Thank you. Sit back and relax while we set up your organization. Now we're at the dashboard screen. Let's just quickly click on settings. Inside here we have our company settings. So I can see my company name, legal entity name, company email ID. I can see the work week. I can see the offboarding checklist. And you may see other compliance information based upon your statutory compliance of that country. Under performance, we can see our appraisal cycle schedule, appraisal date, appraisal period frequency, and the questions here. We can see the tax details. So this may change again based upon your statutory compliance. We can see the payslip designer. So this is where you can design and change your payslip. So you can see your sections, images, grid, earning, deductions. And if it's a text field, we also have our different placeholders here. We have our import log. Now let's click on expenses. Let's click on employees, employee lists. And this is where you can create your employees. This is where you can import your employees that I was discussing earlier. And this is where you can download the sample file. Also based upon different requirements, we have employees on contractors here as well. We have our components, so you can import your component values and add components. So for example, bonus. I can select the type, is it deduction or earning? So you can think of deduction like dental insurance, vision insurance, health insurance. For deductions, earning you can think of as a bonus. And then you can also go frequency and change the frequency to every pay run, monthly, quarterly, or yearly. And is it a fixed or is it variable? And is it a variable based upon percentage of basic salary, percentage of specific component, amount per day of the day's work? So you can select which one you want, and then you can save it. Next, let's click on payroll, and let's click on pay run. Inside here is where you can add a pay run by clicking add pay run, selecting the pay schedule, applying the work period, and is it applicable to all users, and then you can process. We also have contractor pay run. Again, it depends on your statutory compliance. Next, let's go to e-leave. Inside here under settings, under leave management, we can add a new leave type. We can put in the name, for example, maybe annual leave. Days per year. The leave accrual, is it yearly, monthly, one time? Leave appropriate. Is it number of days, number of months, or is it disabled? Leave accrual on, is it the first day of the year or last day of the year? Any description? Are we allowing it to carry forward? What's the maximum leave balance? And carry forward leave days. So for example, maybe 14, so I'll want to make this 28. You can select gender, so you can think of it as maternity or paternity leave. Marital status, is it applicable to all users? Do you allow for unpaid leave? And years of service, 0 to 1, so for example, maybe 10 days, 1 to 2, 11. So I can do years of service range and number of leaves you get based upon that. And once everything looks good, so let me just add another one, 14, I can go up here and click save, and the leave has been created. We also have leave adjustments, so this is where you can do a leave adjustment. Yearly holidays, so this is where you can create your yearly holidays. Is it recurring or non-recurring? You can think of it like 4th of July recurs every year, or National Day recurs every year, and other days that don't, like for example Chinese New Year. It all depends on the specific year. It's not on the specific date. We have user management, so this is where you have users, and this is where you have your teams. So you can set up your teams and set up approval. So for example, if I click here, edit, I can set up who's the manager and who's the user for approval process. And over here I can set up my company settings, my work week. Next, let's go to expenses. Inside here I can click admin settings. So this is where I can see my expense groups, and I can add new expense groups here as well. I can add members and assignees. So for example, if I want to add a member, for example David Williams, and add, I can add him here, and then I can assign them as a member or as an admin. Inside here I can create additional categories, for example golf, and I can assign it to which expense group. And after that I can go and create a new claim here. And that was a quick look at Deskera People.